So, I'm determined to master this Zayn song called Alienated on my keyboard. And I'm going to give it a try today, run through it a couple times, and we will see how it goes. I'm playing with music now, so I can't play it in the video, but I will be playing it in my headphones, and I'm just going to play along to it. So, come along for the ride. Just fine. Oh, fuck, I already fucked it up. One of my keys is mislabeled, so it's throwing me off. Okay, no, it's not mislabeled. Tried to disconnect my body from my soul, from my soul. See, I feel already on my own. From all the years that my feelings never changed. There is so much I love about this song. Have you ever just fallen in love with a song before you even realized the impact it would have on your life? I listened to it, I liked it, threw it on a playlist, something to occasionally hum along to. But when I went through it, I heard it, and now it's a comfort tune. I've struggled a lot, and for the most part, I've come to understand and accept it. The reality is, some people are committed to misunderstanding because the truth is inconvenient, or because they're seeing what they want to see. Having been through that myself, I know it can be hard to grapple with sometimes. On top of the absolute soul in Zayn's voice, and the news headlines this song is likely referencing, what I understand of him is that he's kind of a reclusive anti-celebrity. I get it. So when I listen to this song, everything about it feels authentic to me. You can never really be sure in the music industry, so I'll say if it's not authentic, at least it's believable. That way, others who authentically do feel that way can connect to the emotions of the story that's being told through that song. There have been days where Shuffle has served up this song and it's exactly what I need to hear in that moment. It also helped me feel like I wasn't totally alone at a time where I essentially was. The storytelling, connection, and believability are some of the reasons music is so beautiful and so profound to me. Hi. So, got a bit of a new setup going on, and say hi to Prince. I found that picture at the dollar store, and it seemed appropriate when I had the space, when I reorganized this a little bit. So I'm just going to play Alienated by Zayn right now, just because I want to do like a really good run through of it, because I think I had it okay today, but I was having a hard time with my setup now that I moved some stuff over. So I'm still trying to figure things out, but I think I've got it now. So I'm going to give it another try. But I did learn 2 other songs today, so I'm really excited about that. It's cool because with chords, when you're like, again, I'm only playing with the chords right now, and really basic chords, because you can get a little bit more in depth with it. I don't have a pedal for this right now, but I'm getting one, so I'm excited about that. And then I'll be able to play sustain chords, which I think is going to help me out with Tonight Tonight by Smashing Pumpkins, which I've been trying to play, but it's been kind of difficult for me. And it's just not sounding right, and it's really bothering me. But I think if I have a sustain pedal, it's going to help out with that. But the other song that I'm learning is pretty much the exact same as the Zayn song, just kind of in a different order. So then I had to try my Zayn song again because it seems to be the one that I can play the best. So I'm going to try Alienated by Zayn. I'm going to play it in my headphones while I'm doing it on the keyboard, and just come along for the ride, enjoy the new setup, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. Oh, I got coffee up my nose.
Music is so
All right,
cool because
I'm
you
ready.
know
I'm done
at
screwing
least
around.
one other person gets how you feel. And then there's crowds of people singing along to the words that may feel that way too. All of a sudden, you go from feeling alienated, unheard, unseen, to feeling connected and part of a community. And the best part is, you don't have to be around anybody else physically. People can feel alienated in different ways, but most commonly in social settings. The feeling of alienation is why so many fear change, have a hard time breaking toxic cycles, or vocalizing unpopular opinions. Look at the comments section of any YouTube video ever made. It's become too easy to hide behind a keyboard, as I'm playing a keyboard, to say what you really want to say. Why? Usually the fear of alienation or impact if you say it out loud in a group in real life.
Yay! Yay! I'm excited. That was okay. I missed a couple chords. But it's okay. And I'm going to take one headphone out because I couldn't hear a lot.
Social media definitely has its benefits. I'm not trying to be a hater,
All right.
but it
I'm gonna try
has
this
become
again.
increasingly hard to differentiate life in the real world from life online or between real and fake. Foundationally, nothing is set up to support that. Even worse, the online ambiguity is being increasingly abused to cause real life damage. There are no repercussions, while the very real consequences get more severe. Why is there such a high rate of self deleting, especially in youth these days? Exactly this, mixed with mob mentality and cancel culture. With that said, we are all guilty at some point in our lives of alienating someone else. The point is, it's important to ask ourselves why when we realize we're doing it. More often than not, in social settings, it's the fear of alienation. There are always whys to that. Being able to acknowledge to yourself where you may have a bias and looking at why it's there in the first place is so important, and not many people really take the time to acknowledge that. By making disagreeing with anything a hate crime, but not actually doing anything to combat the actual discrimination, is why I think Western society is in the predicament we're in right now. The work required to make real progress isn't glamorous. That's why most people stick to thoughts and prayers online and publicly voicing support for what everyone else is supporting, instead of using it for what it should be, a chance for non-performative allyship by standing up when it's not trending, or at very least, don't weigh in on the hate train. That's what integrity is. But if we've learned anything from the demure and mindful debacle of 2024, there's a lot of people that could benefit from picking up a dictionary. When you feel alienated, there is no one better to turn to than yourself. But you have to make sure you're in a healthy spot when you do that. That's why it's important to nurture that relationship. You can be alone but not lonely if you enjoy your own company. Figure out who you are. Be authentic. Stand on that. Stay focused on your personal development, and one day the community you're suited to will find you. A lighthouse is going to be easier to discern than smoke. Or you'll find your own niche and carve your own path. Someone's got to set the trend, right? That doesn't mean that it's never going to hurt and that it's never going to suck and that you're never going to have bad days, because sometimes you will, but those do pass. Being alienated leads to some form of changed behavior. You get to determine whether or not that's a positive or a negative change, and you get to determine what to do with that time. You can create something beautiful if you look at the beauty in a bad situation. When the storm finally passes and you come out on the other side, or even through the journey, you may realize that you've changed so much that what you want is entirely different from what you wanted at the beginning of your journey. And once you acknowledge that and take steps towards that, that's when you're going to find your spot and what's really meant for you. But it's easier to get there if you're authentic, because the place that you end up is much more real. And it goes beyond the surface level and is foundationally stronger. All right, I got one good clean run through. Thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep the peace and keep rocking on.